going to show you an overview and step-by-step summary of how I modded this ACR 61 keyboard that AKKO Gear sent to me. It comes in 4 different colorways, and I received the Doll of the Princess theme that comes with jelly blue switches. This keyboard is a 60% keyboard with 61 keys, and it features a stacked acrylic case. The top and bottom layers are frosted, and the AKKO badge on the bottom looks really shiny and crisp. In the box, I found an instruction manual and a box with additional accessories. Because this is a bundle, the keyboard comes with a matching blue USB-C coiled cable, pink accent keycaps, and extra blue keycaps that you can use with other future builds that support other layouts. It also comes with a keycap puller and what looks like extra folding feet for the keyboard with adhesive strips. My first impression of this keyboard is that it's a much higher quality than a lot of the budget stacked acrylic keyboards you see on Amazon and Banggood. The layers are thicker and it overall feels much more solid, but I do feel like the switches could definitely use some lube as well as the stabilizers. This keyboard came with AKKO's CS Jelly Blue switches, which are a tactile switch. These are really interesting because they're described to have a dual tactile bump, both when pressing the key and releasing the key. You can see this additional bump on the legs of the stem that give it this unique feel. The spring is also a 2-stage spring. I really like the color of these switches and they match the case color nicely. The PCB in this keyboard is a hot swap, so you can easily change out the switches if you'd like. It supports 5-pin switches, but I did notice that the Jelly Blue switches are a 3-pin switch. For the stabilizers, I see that these aren't the standard purple ones that AKKO usually uses, which I'm okay with since these do match the board a bit better. That's pretty much it for the visual look of this keyboard, so let's plug it in quickly to see the RGB and to do an initial sound test before I do any mods. After testing it out, I was really excited to mod the switches and stabilizers to improve the sound a bit. The first step was to remove all the keycaps, so I grabbed my toe bean keycap puller from Zomoplus. I placed them into a container and put them aside. Next, I needed to remove my switches. Because the switches are a 3-pin, they were really easy to pull up, and even a few were gone already from when I removed the keycaps earlier. After removing all the switches, I moved on to getting them ready to lube. I grabbed my Lucky Cat switch opener from Kinetic Labs and some plastic jars to organize my switch parts. I also had a plastic sandwich bag for the springs. I found these to be a little difficult to open, but fortunately there are only 61 switches to work with. I'll actually be lubing them off camera in a different location. For the stabilizers, I used my switch puller to remove them from the plate. These are already pre-clipped, so the only thing I'll need to do is lube them. I decided against doing extra stabilizer mods for this keyboard this time around. I removed the wire from each stabilizer and wiped off the factory lube on the ends. I also disassembled the housings as I went. For stabilizer lube, I went with Krytox 205G0 in my Kinetic Labs palette. After I finished lubing each of the housings, I went ahead and reassembled them to save time. Like I usually do with my builds, I'll be lubing the wires with the syringe after the stabilizers are installed, so I will now reinsert them into the keyboard. For the wires, I'm using the stabilizer grease syringe kit from the Keycap company. Don't forget that you can check out this product by visiting the link in the description below, and you can get 5% off using my code MOCHI. This stabilizer grease is very easy to apply, and I just use a stem holder to help me move the grease around. This will help reduce wire rattle and make the stabilizers sound better overall. The switches are all lubed and ready to go, so it's time to add them back onto the keyboard. For these, I used Tribosys 3203 for the bottom housings and stems, and Krytox GPL 106 on the springs. I also added Durock films. These were a little scratchy and I wasn't sure if they were already factory lube, but they definitely benefited from these extra steps. Before I add the keycaps back onto the board, I added this Sylveon Artisan that I was gifted for Christmas. I also added these 4 pink and blue keycaps sent to me from pink treetops to my 5 through 8 keys. I started to add the rest of the keycaps, but I decided not to use any of the keycaps from the pink accent set that came with the kit. They didn't quite match my Artisan keycaps, so instead I used keycaps in another shade of pink from my AKKO Lindesiana keycap set. The keycaps in both of these sets are made from double shot PBT and they have an ASA profile. Unfortunately, while filming this portion of the video, I ran out of space on my memory card and didn't capture the whole process of adding the keycaps back on, but here's the final result after mixing the 2 keycap sets. It wasn't my intention when I first received this keyboard to turn it into a Sylveon themed keyboard, but as I worked on it, it kind of just happened. I tend to gravitate towards pink and blue keycap sets, and my favorite Pokemon is Sylveon, so this type of accident is actually pretty common when I work on keyboards. I'm going to plug it in for the comparison sound test, but I'll have another sound test at the end of the video with my usual setup. Overall, I'm very happy about this keyboard bundle from AKKO. I've started to stray away from pre-built keyboards, but I was requested to review this one by a good handful of followers, so I wanted to try it out. I am pleasantly surprised by the quality of this pre-built budget keyboard, and I'm happy I got the opportunity to receive one. If you aren't a fan of the keycaps, it makes a pretty good bare bones kit, and since it comes with all the extra keycaps to support many larger layouts, you can treat the keycaps on the board as a separate keycap set for another future build. The bundle also comes in 3 other colorways, including one with the Lindesiana pink themed keycap set and pink case. 2 of the bundles also have Japanese legends. For a few months in the past, I was really into the AKKO keyboard line from Banggood, which is also stacked acrylic, but I was quickly exhausted by the thin acrylic layers and the lack of difference between most of the models, aside from the layout. Comparing something similar, such as the AKKO K61 to this AKKO pre-built, these are definitely more fun and interesting to work with, and the colors are very pleasing to the eye, making this a preferred choice if I had to pick between the 2. I also think this keyboard is very beginner friendly, whether you are someone who wants to try out mods or not. It's pretty decent out of the box, and if you want to go a step further with lubing the stabs and switches, you can easily do so. At the time of filming this video, you can get the ACR 61 keyboard bundle from the AKKO website for about $95 USD. I'll leave a link to the bundle in the description below, where you can find all 4 colors available. If you like this video and want to see more mods and overviews, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I also have a few more build videos coming up soon. Thanks again to AKKO for sending this bundle out for review and for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching.